Hi, everyone. Welcome to Our Disabled Future, a series where disabled voices lead the way. I'm your host, Nico, and it is a good day for disability inclusion. Each day, during Disability Pride Month and beyond, I'm amplifying real disabled stories, where we are, where we want to go, and how the heck we're going to get there. Together, I hope. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by Annette. Let's dive in. Hi, Annette. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Nico. You're welcome.
Annette, tell us about yourself and about your disabled life.
Well, my name's Annette Aspen, and I suffer from epilepsy, which is an invisible disability. So to um anybody that sees me, I look like there's nothing wrong, and until there is. And But the majority of my problem happens at night. So the only people that know are the people I sleep with, which happens to be my husband. And he's a bit long suffering. I've been married 30 years. So, but I was diagnosed when I was 9. So it's been going on a long time because I'm 56. So, um, um, I had a normal upbringing, normal schooling, but I don't know how I got through it because the stresses and strains brought on extra seizures. Just had them at night, but in the day carried on. And I just think I learned to cope, and that has been how I have was brought up and how I have continued. And my life has carried on like that. And my mum was very good. She um, heard me having seizures and would run. She slept very lightly, and she would run from her room, which was next to mine, to come and help. And my father and my two sisters weren't aware of what was going on. And since my mum has passed, there's really been no, um, yeah, there's no, nobody has, I've stayed in my very small bubble with my little family here. And I don't think people realize how difficult it is making the journey to see people because I can't drive, I'm not allowed to drive. And taking a train is difficult because sometimes I might have a seizure on. I don't know if I'm going to have a seizure on the train. Um, and the stress and strain and the worry of that goes with it all. Um, but I constantly hear, "Oh, you look well. It's really good to see you looking well." Um, um, but yeah, it's difficult to you just cope. You just cope with it. Yeah. So I have I learned early on that I wasn't going to be able to do what I wanted to do in life. I was told on careers day that I would never get a job in the caring profession. I always wanted to be a physiotherapist, and so when it came to um, doing work experience, and half of the school were doing care homes and hospitals and things, I thought, well, I'm never going to work in the caring profession, so I won't do that. I went to work in a local radio station. Nobody else thought about doing that, but I did. And that's where my job in radio started. And I got a passion for radio, and I started a career with the BBC. And it was quite a good career until I started having seizures at work, and unfortunately, it ended very abruptly. Um, but that was fine because I really enjoyed my career when it happened. When it was, but it was a brief 10 years, and yeah, then it ended. But I was lucky. I was lucky because I ended and almost immediately fell pregnant and was able to bring up my son and crawl about on the floor, still having seizures, often in the daytime, with my little boy and making big art attacks because I had learned that art was my thing. Because um, and we would just get along like that. And so when I helped out in his nursery and then his primary school and as an art teacher, as an art assistant, it was all just good. It just filled my time, really. So yeah. But my husband kept on working for because I met my husband whilst we were training to be studio managers. He kept working and still works for the BBC. And so he was working to keep the family. Um, and I was actually offered an operation to have the piece of brain removed that's causing the seizures when my son was 11. But I still felt I had a quality of life and I didn't want to lose. So I turned it down. Now my son is 27. I'm going to go through with it. So this year I'm going to have it done. But there's been a lot of progress in medicine. So yeah.
That's remarkable. Annette, thank you for sharing so much with me. It takes a certain kind of vulnerability and courage to do this chat, and I want to recognize that effort. Thank you.
That's okay.
You've
That's
done a
it.
great job of telling me kind of about your life and how your epilepsy has affected you physically and socially. What does
Hmm.
a disability-friendly future look like for you then?
A disability-friendly future is one where everyone is accepted for who they are, and regardless um, um, of their abilities, their race, their gender. So I think it should be taught at school. I really do, because my son, he grew up with his mum on the floor and sometimes, and he is the most empathetic, gorgeous child. And he understands, he's just adorable. He's, as I say child, he's a man. Um, but and there are lots of children like him, but it's it's so easy for you to hear stories about people that don't, because they don't see or they don't know, they go about their daily lives, or they don't know what goes on in other people's lives, and it doesn't occur to them to think that someone might be having um, like I was accused of being drunk, and wasn't admitted into a place because I was wobbling, going up, trying to climb upstairs. Well, it was a medication I was taking, and it was a side effect, and I wasn't drunk, and and there's a local shop that wouldn't serve me because I was, and it's just all things like that. You just think a little bit of thought, and I don't think that there should necessarily be have to be separate people that go into companies to train their employees about disability. I think it should be learned before you go into the workplace. So it's there, everybody is aware and has it ingrained in them. And the world would be a much nicer place, much nicer place. I mean, I read yesterday just on LinkedIn about a story of a blind lady who was on the tube and her guide dog stops before they get off the tube, pauses, and she knows that she's about to step off the tube. As the doors open, the dog's pausing because she knows that she has to make the step down. Somebody rushed in and stepped on the dog's paw, and the dog yelped and is now afraid of getting on the tube. And that's a dog that is her guide, is her safety. And she feels guilty for not protecting her. And it's just like, oh, the ramifications of it all is just awful. It's just, yeah, it hurts my heart, makes me sad, things like that. So yes, but I am actually, it makes me really happy when I have experiences like I had at the theatre, because I am an access card member of the theatre. And like at the Bridge Theatre, I was sitting with my son, and we a gentleman came, and he gently introduced himself. He didn't know whether it was me or my son that was needing help, and he just he introduced himself, and he just said, if either of us needed help, that he was going to be wherever, and he said if he could make our experience more comfortable, that we could ask him for anything, and I just thought that was so nice, so nice. Just meant it means the world. It's lovely. Yeah.
Annette, thank you. In your answer, I hear a call for wider compassion and more understanding of your fellow human.
Yeah,
Uh, and then everybody being judged based on merit being accepted equally. I love
absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
So how do you think we get there? Do we have to pass legislation? Do we have to train people or give them some skills, some knowledge? What's the strategy? What do you think?
That's a difficult one because um I don't know. It might start from passing legislation, really, because it might actually have to be brought into the curriculum, or might have to be passed as a law for, well, you don't want to penalize people for doing something that they're not. It's very difficult, isn't it? To It's very difficult. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. Um, and also there is a massive disabled community that advocate for their individual illnesses and disabilities, which is brilliant. But each and everybody that has a disability is also a member of another community first, and probably identifies with that community before identifying with a disability one, if you know what I mean. Like, I am a member of the artist community, and I identify as an artist before I identify as disabled. But I will always advocate for epilepsy. Um, But when it comes to changing the future, it's such a big thing, because it's changing the future for the world, not just because you're not in the UK. And so um, I find the laws in each country is very different, very different. It will start with actually the people themselves, I think, because governments are different. It will start with how people act towards each other.
I think you're right. And I really appreciate how realistic and pragmatic you got with that question. A lot of
Mm,
times when I ask people, they'll say things like, oh, we can just pass a law, or we'll just teach everybody this one skill. And it is, as you say, a little more difficult logistically speaking.
Yeah.
Thank you, Annette.
No, that's okay.
As we close our time together, I want to give you a chance that you and I, as disabled people, rarely get, and that is a chance to brag about yourself, promote anything cool you've got going on currently, or maybe you just did something cool recently. If you want to grow your presence online, where can people find you? But this is just your time to be your own cheerleader and brag about yourself. Let's hear it.
Oh, thank you, Nico. I'm actually I have a website, annetteaspenart.com. Um, I'm actually currently taking a break because I'm waiting for brain surgery, but I do use art as therapy, so I will be coming back to it. And I do have a Twitter account, which is also Annette Aspenart, if you want to look for me. But um, I I come and go. I come and go. I have one thing on the go at the moment, which is a commission for a very close friend of mine. She's a school chum from years and years ago. And we met up, and she has lots of art in her house from her children and everything. And she said that she wanted a piece of mine. So
That's awesome, Annette. Thank you for
that's
the artwork you do for the community. It sounds
uh,
lovely.
that's okay, because 20% of my artwork always goes to the National Brain Appeal.
It's generous of you.
Yeah.
I can put those links you mentioned in the video description.
Okay.
All right,
So,
folks, tune in next time.
all right.
Remember, this is our disabled future, and we're building it one day at a time together. Wherever you go, whatever you do, I'm rooting for you, and I can't wait to see what you do next. Bye.